knowledge transfer arm of the Institute for Manufacturing here at the University of Cambridge. I'm sure that, like us, many of you are finding yourselves in unfamiliar situations in these strange times. We're facing an unprecedented need to react quickly, develop new approaches, and evaluate new initiatives in order to support our staff and our businesses. We normally might like to develop a full business case for each potential project, but things are moving too quickly right now for us to do that, and we need a faster process. Today, I'm going to show you how you and your team can work together in a structured way to assess a range of ideas and decide together which to take forward. To do this, we'll use a rapid method for assessing the opportunity and feasibility of projects that's been developed here at the IFM. This is a brief overview, but I've included a link below to the full working paper by Drs. Rick Mitchell, Rob File and Nikki Athanasopoulos, if you want to find out more. You can also find a link to some resources to help you if you decide to run this process for yourselves. Here are a couple of comments from an organisation which has gone through the process in the past. The IFM approach uses a scoring method to help evaluate projects on two basic scales, opportunity and feasibility. In this approach, opportunity can be thought of as a rough assessment of the value that may result from a project, while feasibility represents the investment that might be required to make it happen. To provide an overview of the process, there are 4 things that we need to cover: selecting factors, scaling statements, scoring, and understanding the results. So, what factors should we be considering in our project assessment? Well, these will vary from business to business, and you'll need to consider yours carefully. It's tempting to use as many factors as possible, but our experience has shown that around 5 to 7 for each of the criteria is about right. For opportunity, you might consider elements such as volume, margin, or growth potential, but the factors themselves need to be more specific than this. For example, factors for volume might include market size, competition, or customer benefit. Those around margin might include increased margin per unit or expected cost reduction. For feasibility, you might look at factors associated with your skills and knowledge or business processes. But again, these should be more specific, perhaps including technical capability or fit to existing processes or supply chains. A more complete list of possible factors for both opportunity and feasibility is included in the working paper. Once you have selected your factors, the next thing to look at is scaling statements. We're going to score the factors for each project from 0 to 8. But in order to do this effectively, we need to understand what each score might mean in practice. This is where scaling statements come in. Scaling statements help keep things consistent when several people collaborate in scoring, and they also help us to understand what the factors actually mean. To illustrate this, here are some scaling statements for the opportunity factor market size. You can see that the scaling statements have been made as concrete as possible. Similarly, here are some scaling statements for the feasibility criteria technical capability. Again, these statements are concrete. It's important to remember, if you cannot express scaling statements for a factor in concrete terms, the factor may not be appropriate to use. Many more examples of scaling statements for both opportunity and feasibility are available in the documents that you can download. Once we've selected scaling statements for each of our factors, it's nearly time to think about scoring. Before we can score, though, we have to brief colleagues on each of the potential projects, providing all the relevant objective information that they need. Creating a short briefing document for each project can be a good way of doing this. Once the briefs are ready, set up a scoring team which includes people with as wide a range of experience and knowledge as possible. Scoring is a critical activity and should be split into 2 sections to be effective: individual scoring and group scoring. Each participant should study the briefing papers on their own, form their own opinions, and provide an initial rating for each opportunity and feasibility factor. Here's an example score sheet for the opportunity and feasibility of a potential online training project. After individual scoring, the team should now get together to discuss and review their scores and assumptions factor by factor. The goal here is to arrive at an agreed upper and lower score for each factor. For example, for our online training project, the CEO might think we already have all of the skills that we need, whereas the COO might take the slightly more conservative view that new skills could be needed. In the end, the group might agree that feasibility in terms of our technical capability lies somewhere between 6 and 8. The upper and lower scores per factor can then be averaged to create agreed ranges for opportunity and feasibility. Be careful though, as a critically low score in one feasibility factor may make the whole project impossible to execute. For example, if the technical challenge of our training project had been too high, regardless of our other capabilities in other areas, the project would be discarded at this point. In our example, though, the group are confident that we can overcome the technical challenge, and the final opportunity and feasibility scores for the project look something like this. Once all of the projects are scored, we move on to the final part of the process, understanding the results. These are easily plotted on a chart, where the x-axis represents feasibility and the y-axis represents opportunity. For each of our projects, we can now mark out 2 points, one at the minimum opportunity and the minimum feasibility for a given project, and the other at the maximum opportunity and maximum feasibility. To help make the results clear, we connect these 2 points with a line and split the chart into 4 quadrants as shown. Working around the chart from the top quadrant, we interpret the results as follows. In the top left, these are the projects which provide significant long-term opportunities but have low feasibility. We may want to focus on these in the longer term. In the top right, these are the projects we should concentrate on now. The opportunity here is high, and these projects are also fairly feasible. An example online training project would appear in this area. In the bottom right, these projects are fairly easy, but offer limited return. Consider them if they help to enable other activities. In the bottom left, these projects are hard and don't represent good opportunities. You should abandon them or think very carefully about why you would take them forward. You'll probably find that some projects cross from the bottom left to the top right of the chart. These are the projects which right now you don't know enough about to make a well-informed decision. If you have the time and capacity, you should do some further research here. However, if you have other projects in the top right-hand corner of the chart, then you might want to focus on these for now and look in more detail at the others later. So there you go, a quick sprint through the IFM Opportunity Feasibility tool. All of the information I've given here is available in much more detail in the working paper, which you can find below. I hope you found the session useful. Please do feel free to let us have your comments, as this shorter format is new to us. We hope to continue these videos, however, and we'll be delivering many of our regular training and consultancy activities online. Please do get in touch if you think that we might be able to help. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.